Hi gang. So in this video, I'm going to be doing something slightly different. I'm going to be comparing two clip-on microphones and their performance when hooked up to my Canon DSLR EOS 80D camera. These are the two microphones that I'm going to compare with each other. This is the SHURE MVL clip-on microphone, and this one is the SmartLav Plus from Rode. Quick note before we start any of this. This video is not for anyone that's looking for very specific professional kind of advice. I don't know anything about microphones. I don't know anything about sound engineering. Even when it comes to the equalizer settings on DaVinci Resolve, I'm quite lost. The most I really know how to do is increase the volume, decrease the volume, do a little bit of audio ducking for the purposes of adding music to my videos. So this video is more for people like me. Just want a quick comparison between these two microphones if you have been considering something like this. So here's a little bit of what I did previously. I had been recording using the internal microphone of my Canon, but then I started thinking about improving the audio quality just a little bit, getting a separate microphone to work in tandem with my camera. So the first microphones that I experimented with were also from Rode. I got the Rode VideoMic Pro and the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. Based on some videos on YouTube that I watched, it seemed like a really good idea. However, in reality, I couldn't find a big improvement when it came to using it in practice with my Canon DSLR. And I spent a really long time trying to finesse it. It just took an extraordinary long while. Possibly this could be much improved if I was able to tweak with the settings in my camera or in post-production, but I'm just not familiar with those complexities. So I decided to return both of them. Both of them are shotgun mics that sit on top of the camera. And I think those microphones are more appropriate for instances where you are actually moving around and you're not in a stationary position. So then I tried something else, which was having a microphone stand beside me and having a microphone directly above my head, pointed towards my chest, which was advice from another video. The sound quality was slightly better using that particular method. However, that particular microphone that I got from Amazon, the connection to the camera started making some humming sounds. There was some quality control issues with the microphone that I got. And I decided in the end to just get a clip-on microphone. From the videos I was watching, beauty-centric videos on which I liked the audio quality, shout out to Caitlin House. Hi Caitlin. She was using a clip-on mic. I snooped around on Amazon and these were the two that I selected. So I placed it central to my frame and directly underneath my mouth, and that's how it picks up the sound. So I'm going to unplug my microphone now and then do an audio test with the internal microphone, which is inbuilt into my Canon DSLR. Black mothers, particularly those with strong ties to their community, sometimes build high banks around their young daughters, isolating them from the dangers of the larger world until they are old and strong enough to function as autonomous women. Often, these dikes are religious, but sometimes they are built with education, family, or the restrictions of a close-knit and homogeneous community. This isolation causes the currents between Black mothers and daughters to run deep, and the relationship to be fraught with an emotional intensity often missing from the lives of women with more freedom. Black mothers, particularly those with strong ties to their community, sometimes build high banks around their young daughters, isolating them from the dangers of the larger world until they are old and strong enough to function as autonomous women. Often, these dikes are religious, but sometimes they are built with education, family, or the restrictions of a close-knit and homogeneous community. This isolation causes the currents between black mothers and daughters to run deep, and the relationship to be fraught with an emotional intensity often missing from the lives of women with more freedom. SHURE microphone. Black mothers, particularly those with strong ties to their community, sometimes build high banks around their young daughters, isolating them from the dangers of the larger world until they are old and strong enough to function as autonomous women. Often these dikes are religious, but sometimes they are built with education, family, or the restrictions of a close-knit and homogeneous community. This isolation causes the currents between black mothers and daughters to run deep and the relationship to be fraught with an emotional intensity often missing from the lives of women with more freedom. Third mic, Rode mic. Black mothers, particularly those with strong ties to their community, sometimes build high banks around their young daughters, isolating them from the dangers of the larger world until they are old and strong enough to function as autonomous women. Often these dikes are religious, but sometimes they are built with education, family, or the restrictions of a close-knit and homogeneous community. This isolation causes the currents between black mothers and daughters to run deep, and the relationship to be fraught with an emotional intensity often missing from the lives of women with more freedom. So as you can probably tell, the Rode SmartLav Plus microphone sounds a little bit more rich and bassy. However, the SHURE microphone, the MVL clip-on microphone, has a little bit more of a clear, distinct sound to it. When I was trying to compare the two and listening to the differences between them, I felt that the SHURE mic was grabbing my attention a little bit more. With the Rode microphone, I do like the rich bass to it, or the richer bass to it. However, I felt that I was paying more attention to my voice when I was listening to the recording with the MVL microphone. And for that reason, I decided to go with the SHURE MVL microphone instead of the SmartLav Plus from Rode. So if you've come to this video to decide between these two microphones, all I can say is it's up to personal preference what type of sound you are looking for. For me, the MVL, I was more likely to pay attention to what I was saying. With the SmartLav Plus, I felt that if I listened to myself for an extended period of time, I might stop paying attention to it because it just had this very kind of relaxing, soothing feeling to it.
You might want to speak in a lower register. What? Evolution has made women sensitive to high-pitched noises while they sleep so that they'll be roused by a crying baby. If you want to avoid waking her, speak in a lower register. I'm not leaving until I'm done. If you have time to lean, you have time to clean.
I did ask for feedback from two friends of mine, Sam and Louise. Hi Sam, hi Louise. And they also said that they preferred the SHURE microphone. The SHURE microphone is slightly longer than the Rode. It's just a teeny tiny bit longer. Let me just quickly show you the differences between the clips. So this is how the Rode microphone is set up. Essentially, when you get it in the box, what they refer to as the windshield, this kind of soft foamy thing, very small and very cute. It's not attached to the microphone itself, and the clip is also not attached. So this is the microphone by itself. It's very, very teeny tiny, and then it comes with the clip like this. And what you have to do is put a little bit of pressure onto this area, round spiral area. Let me show you that right there. Put a little pressure there and slip the microphone through the hole and kind of let it nestle into the grooves. This kind of holds it in place. I did see some reviews, and for some people, this wire kind of came loose very easily. It's a little bit finicky. I don't know. It does feel like if you put a bit too much force, it might come apart. And for that reason, I feel that this is not the most sturdy and kind of hardy design, especially if you are a little bit rough with your equipment. Anyway, you just have to pop the windshield right on top and nestle it there. And there you go, you have your microphone all set up. In terms of the clip, it's just a standard kind of clip. And in comparison to the SHURE microphone, this clip requires a little bit less pressure, at least initially, when you're trying to clip it onto your clothes. There's a tiny bit of a groove right at this area, and I think that's for you to kind of maybe angle the wire a little bit, but I don't know. The wire doesn't seem to kind of nestle in there very easily, or it doesn't seem to want to cooperate, and I'm kind of afraid if I jam it in there, it might damage the cable. I don't know. Maybe the cable is more hardy than I'm giving it credit for, but it does feel, a bit dangerous trying to really force it into that groove. So I'm not entirely sure if that's for that purpose. I can only speculate that it is. With the SHURE microphone, it's a little bit less elaborate. It's very kind of straight and to the point. It also does have its tiny little windshield foam cover thing. And initially, when I first got it, it was a bit harder, or it required a little bit more force to kind of open and close the clip. But after using it for a bit, it seems quite easy to open and close it. The Rode and the SHURE both come with some sort of pouch to carry or to protect the microphone and any accessories that may go with it. The SHURE pouch is just a little bit bigger, also feels a little bit thicker and kind of more sturdy than this one. The one complication I will say about these two particular clip-on microphones is that you will be tethered to your camera. There are wireless microphones that you can get. I haven't tried those out, so I don't know. And they're also a little bit more pricey. You will also have to adjust in your camera itself how loud you want the microphone volume to be. And usually there is some sort of indicator that tells you what's a safe level. Anything above the level of 0 decibels, which is 0 dB, is too loud. You're not going to get any sort of clarity. And -3 dB and -5 dB is kind of where you want the loudest part of your audio to be at. -12, -10 to -5 or -3. That range should be where most of your audio should be sitting at. These two clip-on microphones specifically can be connected to a laptop or a handphone. The audio can be recorded separately. However, I don't want to go through trying to sync up audio and visual footage together in post-production, which is why I prefer the method of hooking up the microphone directly into the camera, having the camera record everything together, synced, and so I don't have to fiddle with that. It's just a lot less work. For that specific purpose of connecting it to a camera, a DSLR camera, you will need an adapter, and I got some sort of an extension cable because neither of these two mics have a long enough cable to connect to the camera by itself, unless I was extremely close to the camera. That might be possible, but I do have a table in front of me if you want to plug in this microphone directly into your camera so that you can record both audio and visual in sync together. You will need an adapter which has a female TRRS socket, which this jack needs to go into, it's characterized by those 3 bands that are on the tip. And on the other end, it should be a male TRS jack, which is characterized by 2 bands instead of 3 bands. If you also have the Canon EOS 80D, the microphone slot is placed right in front of the LCD viewfinder, the one which you pop out in order to monitor your own face while you are shooting video. If you have that kind of configuration where the screen is going to be right behind the microphone slot, it might be a good idea to get an angled jack in terms of the adapter that you will have to use with the microphone itself. Because if you have something like this, which is a little bit long and elongated, it goes into the jack like this, and there will be a bit of this protruding out, but then the wire also does kind of block the vision of the viewfinder. If you need an extension cable, again, linked down below. And I purchased the adapter as well as the extension cable from Rode, the same brand. I just wanted to kind of keep it uniform. However, I am keeping the SHURE MVL microphone, and it works just fine with the Rode adapter and extension cable. So that is all the information that I have for you. I hope you found this somewhat informative. If you have any questions, I can try to answer them if I have the answers. I will also link some other videos which I found to be helpful when I was looking into the matter of microphones. All I can say is, based on the solutions I've tried, the Rode VideoMic Pro plus the shotgun mic that was sitting atop my camera, the unwieldy microphone stand with the microphone hanging above, placed above my person, the clip-on solution seems to be the most sound solution. It does seem that proximity really does make a difference. So the closer the microphone is to your mouth, the better the audio quality is going to sound. It is a little bit finicky just because I have to kind of connect myself to the camera. I have to be very careful not to touch the microphone or, let my hair kind of interfere with it or adjust my clothes too much. And I also don't have a very free range of motion, because if I need to go to the bathroom or the kitchen, anything like that, I do have to remember to unclip the microphone and, place it somewhere where it doesn't fall, put it in a safe place. I have cats. But like I said, there are wireless solutions out there. So that's it from me. I hope you found this helpful if you're creating similar content to me and you're just looking to upgrade your audio quality a little bit. I personally found this to be the best setup so far. Thanks for watching, and ciao for now.